Hi all, Cullen Haynes here and welcome to Lawyer Lending Live. My next guest is a powerhouse in every sense of the word. Been in the industry over 6 years and in her current role for over 7 months, hails from Singapore and is a very good friend of mine, and I'm very honored to have San Ko join us. How are you, San?
Good, thanks. How are you, Cullen?
Very, very well. How is everything in your circle of influence? What is going on?
Circle of influence. Things are good, I guess. Sort of just chugging along, doing the work. But yeah, seeing a bit of an uptick in terms of insolvency work. So that's always nice from our end. The weather's looking great, so I'm sure everyone's feeling happier as well. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I'd love to ask, insolvency, what do you do in your role at RSM in a nutshell?
well, I work in the restructuring and recovery team. So we work a lot on formal insolvency appointments, but we also take on, consulting and advisory matters for corporate clients.
Very good, very good. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to get value from this. It's now 3:16 in Sydney, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you put your queries, thoughts, any questions you have for San, keep them evergreen. And I'm sure if there's anything more detailed to reach out and DM San directly. But what do you think? What's the market doing in insolvency at the moment? What's the finger on the pulse that you're seeing right now, San?
Um, so rates are slowly rising, and inflation's getting higher. So I think it's just more of um, um, pressure, I guess, on companies in terms of going into insolvency or considering their options. So during the COVID period, when we had a couple of lockdowns, there was an insolvent trading moratorium, and not a lot of companies actually went into insolvency during that period. So we might see an uptick now because of that backlog.
Absolutely. What do you think of the latest inflation numbers? I think they're north of 7 now, and the recent budget's been released. What were your thoughts? What was everyone's thoughts in the office when that came out?
Um, okay, so I'm not the tax expert in
Of
RSM. These are
course, of course. Not putting
super
pressure on you.
specialized into it, and I can sort of send through the budget analysis as well. But I think their main thoughts were, it focuses very heavily on the counteraction of um, the perceived avoidance of tax by multinationals. So there are a few measures along those lines in terms of amendments to the thin capitalization rules. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's interested in RSM's thoughts, I'll be happy to send through a budget
Oh,
analysis.
very good. A little freebie there. Get in touch for sure. Get in touch because you got a few different divisions at RSM. Is that right?
Yeah. So we've got tax, we've got specialist tax, we've got business advisory, audit. So anything for your accounting needs, I guess.
When do you find that clients get in touch with you, San? What's I guess, the touch point? Is it when their current accountant's doing an ordinary job, they don't have one? Like when's the like, I got to get in touch with these guys and girls?
We focus quite heavily on the SME market, and we have a pretty good regional reach. So just for anything really, especially around the mid-tier market, RSM's good for, whether it's for audit or corporate finance, financial services, or just tax and business advisory services. For me personally, in R&R, it's when
Yes.
they have maybe cash flow issues or strategic, operational, or financial challenges that they like to sort of work through and figure out what their options are. So that's when we step in. So just
Okay.
any business problem.
I love that opportunity, business opportunity. Is it necessarily dire when companies get in touch with you, or is it like the wheels are shaking a bit and they need a bit of guidance with their cash flow issues?
Yeah, probably just when it's shaking a bit. It's never too early to get a bit of guidance from your local accountants slash advisors, and yeah, happy to always just catch up and have a chat anyway.
Absolutely. And obviously, the government was handing out free money like minties during COVID. And
Yeah.
now the budget is tightening that up quick smart. What's your advice to businesses that, I guess, took on board some of that free money or relied on some of those bank loans, the $250,000, $300,000 loans that the banks were writing? What's your advice to companies now that all those things have now stopped?
Um, I think as a business, or as a business owner, it's just important to be on top of where your business is at and to sort of know almost in real time how your business is doing. So how's your cash flow looking? What's your profit and loss at the moment? What's your balance sheet like at the moment? And the moment you think you might have some issues down the road, maybe in 3 months time, 6 months time, or even a year, it's good to start talking to your accountant. So the earlier you talk to them, the more options you have.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I have this conversation all the time with new business owners and whatnot. They tell me how much revenue they're making and they're so excited. But then we
Yeah.
get to profit and it's either a loss or very minimal. What's your, I guess, something evergreen or a tidbit that people can walk away with to kind of maximize that profit, or any things that they could do to tweak in their practice?
It depends a lot, business by business, but one thing that RSM has been really big on is using technology and using that to enable your processes and using more of that automation side of things. So that's something we can definitely help with in terms of digital tech.
I like that. As we enter the metaverse, I think the data is going to become even more important. Absolutely, with all and whatnot. In terms of, I guess, switching gears a little bit, my neck of the woods, the rate rises.
Yes.
We are expecting. I texted Jerome Dorisami earlier today, and from the Lawyers Weekly, my thoughts for where the cash rate is going come November. But with the current inflation rates, we are poised to potentially have another 50 basis point hit. What do you think that would do to, I guess, your clients, or what do you think would happen if rates were to go to 3.5, where they're predicting things to go?
Yeah, so certainly higher pressure. But yeah, I think it all depends on how you manage it. So just got to be on top of how it affects the business, I guess. Cost of supplies, materials, wages will go up as well. So
Yes. Yeah,
that's in the budget.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. What
No,
do you
because
think?
the banks, well, when we were doing our loans 6 to 12 months ago with our clients, the stretch rate was 5.75. That is what the banks were testing clients on, right? So now we've got this phenomenon, not so much lawyers, because lawyers seem to do well in good times and even better in bad times, but mums and dads and, I guess, everyone else. Some clients are held hostage by their bank. They can't go anywhere now because they technically don't even service for the loan they took out. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. A lot more people needing to sell that bought 1 or 2 years ago that overstretched themselves. So at least in our neck of the woods, what we're seeing is those that are looking to upgrade or first home buyers are really benefiting because they're now able to get something that with the price coming down with less competition. So I guess that's one of the positive effects we're seeing. The negative effects is it is hard with these rates going up and those that maybe didn't lock in a fixed because the rates of 1.79, 1.89 are long gone. The fixed rates have a 5 in front of them now, son. So that's a very real concern. And the AFR keep on reading these articles called the fixed rate cliff. A lot of people now and early 2023 are going to be coming off their fixed rate. And it is a shock going from 1.89 to 5%. It's quite a jump in repayments. And since these rate rises took effect, it's on a household income of 200,000. It's impacted already by about 250,000 as a loan in terms of how much you can borrow. With where it's going in terms of lending at 3.5, it's going to impact your borrowing by 350,000. So look, the pain hasn't stopped yet. There's pros and cons to the whole rate rise thing. But I just was interested to see what you're seeing on your side. What's your prediction? Not holding you to, son, I know we're alive. What's your prediction for 2023? say the cash rate gets to 3.5, 2023, what's going to happen in the realm of insolvency and what you do for your clients?
Yeah, we will probably see the backlog starting to come through. It's already starting to come through a little bit, so maybe more action on that end. But it seems like they're managing it quite well so far, dare I say. You
Yes,
know, the thin line between managing inflation and keeping keeping the cash rate, keeping the interest rates up to date. So yeah, we'll see how much that affects insolvency next year, but probably a little
absolutely.
bit more action.
Well, it sounds like you're dealing with a high pressure situations for your clients, Sam. What do you do to relax? What do you do to do you have any hobbies? Like how do you get away from the numbers and distance yourself a little bit so you can come to work fresh?
Sleep is always good.
Who
Love
doesn't
sleep,
like sleep?
but yeah, I love reading, love Netflix. So just a bit of entertainment on the side.
What are you reading at the moment, Sam? What can people expect so they can buy it themselves?
I'm
Amazon.
still reading on that very obscure topic that we talked about last time. Actually, it's a pretty thick book, but it's on psychological astrology. So that's something I'm reading about at the moment.
Very good. Sounds very Dan Millman. Definitely like in that numerology space. I think the life you
Yeah,
were born to live on a
yeah,
similar vein. So that's good. Um,
nice.
in terms of like going into like Netflix, obviously you're watching it. Are you seeing your clients get rid of their Netflix accounts and Stan accounts as we tighten up our purse strings and budgets and whatnot? Are people canceling these subscriptions?
Um, well, no, not really. From my point of yeah, I haven't seen any of that yet. So Netflix maybe should be still doing well. And yeah, we'll see when that comes through. Maybe.
Well, I was reading in the AFR today that Apple, for the first time ever, have increased their subscription fee. So
All right.
Stan has seen an uptick in their subscribers. I thought that was an interesting phenomenon. But good to
Mm,
know that you will not be unsubscribing from Netflix anytime soon, son.
yeah, probably not. My life depends on it.
Any good shows that people should be watching outside of work right now? What's the most recent thing that you thought was quite intriguing?
Um, so I just go for the top 10. Um,
Classic.
so the first one on the top 10 from memory was I think it was called The School for Good and Evil.
Yes.
And then I've been getting into John Wick as
Oh my
well. Got a
goodness.
lot of good reviews about John Wick.
Okay,
So
Johnny
yeah,
Wick.
have you seen those?
I haven't gone on to the John Wick, but I do like Keanu Reeves, and he does pop up in my TikTok from time to time.
Yeah,
And I'm kicking James Dapperchi for getting me onto the TikTok,
yeah.
uploading and consuming. But yeah, it's quite interesting.
How's
Um,
your TikTok journey going so far?
Let me tell you, son, compared to LinkedIn, it is a different kettle of fish. I've been trolled more times on TikTok than ever, but it's an interesting platform. Like things seem to take off very quickly or things don't. So I'm getting used to what the algorithm is liking and what it doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I just think what I like TikTok for is it makes my editing of videos much easier. I used to go into Final Cut Pro and have to put text above and below. Now I just make the video in TikTok and copy it over to LinkedIn. So at the very least, it makes my job a lot easier in
Well,
terms of
you're a
getting
pro
content
now
out.
with video editing.
There you go. There you go. And where can people find you, son? Where are you most hanging out? Do you get on LinkedIn much? Where can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn would be the place. I love LinkedIn and I love to connect and catch up anytime. So yeah, LinkedIn sounds good. Let's meet on there.
Oh, let's meet on the LinkedIn. And not putting you on the spot, but this probably will. One nugget, one gem that people walking away with who watch today can walk away with. Can be accounting or otherwise.
Um, Accounting or otherwise, I might just go with like a life thing that I live by, I
Please
guess. So yeah, just be open, I guess, to anything and everything. You could say, um, consider most opportunities and think about it and be
say
open.
yes more. Say
Yeah,
yes
maybe.
more.
Yeah,
Say yes to
I
the
like
right
the
things.
summary.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's been an honor chatting with you there, San. Looking forward to our next one. And thank you for joining everyone for another Lawyer Lending Live. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everyone. Take care.